𝗕𝗃𝗀𝗃 has had a very good day today. Almost 15% gains we have seen 𝗕𝗃𝗀𝗃 develop over the course of today, and that has been a fantastic move. So we want to understand, why has 𝗕𝗃𝗀𝗃 broke out? What is going on with that chart? Why is it turning into a monster move on a 24-hour period? Where can it likely go next? All the usual good things, guys. We're going to look at that chart today. Now, first of all, we want to understand where 𝗕𝗃𝗀𝗃 has came from, what the price has done, and why we are starting to see a bit of a push to the upside. We of course know that we are looking for another move to the upside for 𝗕𝗃𝗀𝗃. Stochastic momentum we can see is turning back to the upside, but crucially we can take a note of right here, guys. The stochastic indicator is about to cross over its average line. This is typically a very bullish move when we see the stochastic oscillator curve higher than its average, telling us a bigger move is likely to happen. Momentum is in our favour, and we should be looking for a continuation to the upside with its price action. Now, with that in mind, we can see that we are likely to cross over on this weekly candle, so we want to look at the price action, and in the chart, where can 𝗕𝗃𝗀𝗃 likely push on up to? We know previously we were battling with higher resistance for 𝗕𝗃𝗀𝗃's price action, and we have seen a pullback, and that's a healthy pullback. But we've also seen this consolidate over a period of time. We can see this on this weekly chart. We have been coiling up ever since the end of February, and 𝗕𝗃𝗀𝗃 is looking to break out of this potential symmetrical triangle that we can see, much like what we can see on the daily chart for Bitcoin, a coiling up, a continuation pattern within the charts, and a closure above this symmetrical triangle will be incredibly bullish for 𝗕𝗃𝗀𝗃's price. We can see we are testing the upper end of the symmetrical triangle on this weekly time frame, and it would appear a closure above 4.672 cents would be that bullish move, looking for the breakout of this continuation pattern. Trading these breakouts can be fantastic, but we would be better served to wait for confirmation of this breakout, in my opinion. What we can see on this weekly candle is we are looking to pierce higher than there. We have pierced higher, but we have not got confirmation yet. We would want to see a closure above this symmetrical triangle upper area. That would be the confirmation. Perhaps you would wish to wait for the retest of the upper area before looking for that next long position. That would be a smart move, in my opinion. Confirmation of these breakouts is a very wise thing to do. We can often see symmetrical triangles fail in this space, these fake breakouts, which we could potentially have seen here with this candle wicking higher than the upper area. So wait for confirmation, a closure above this upper line, telling us that we do have that breakout, perhaps waiting for the retest, the retracement to test out that upper line of the symmetrical triangle, further adding confirmation of a long on a macro time frame. This is of course that weekly chart, so perhaps we do close higher. We would likely see retracing at that point. That may be the perfect opportunity to look for a long or a higher swing opportunity for 𝗕𝗃𝗀𝗃. If we were looking to long this one and wait for that confirmation, of course that would be another week away from where we are sitting, but we could be looking to set that long all the way up here to around about 6 cents, and our stop loss of course would be back within that symmetrical triangle, perhaps down towards that lower end, entirely up to you. This would be your trade to tailor, but that's something I would look at. Yes, this is a very healthy move. A confirmed close out with this symmetrical triangle will be incredibly bullish, and we will look for 𝗕𝗃𝗀𝗃 to carry on its momentum to the upside. Stochastic indicator, that oscillator telling us that momentum is starting to curve to the upside. This looks like it's going to get very exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing where 𝗕𝗃𝗀𝗃 could go next. But when we bring it back down to the daily time frame, we could be looking at something playing out slightly differently. Looking at that chart, we can see there's a lot of overlap and a lot of corrective movements that have been on for 𝗕𝗃𝗀𝗃's price action. Again, we did see that high on the 28th of February, with 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗃 pushing up to 5.5 cents, and from there we have seen a good correction to the downside. Most notably, we have found support on the daily equilibrium, testing out the 50 EMA and the 50 SMA. We are trying to battle back to the upside, and we are starting to move into that typical retracement of this drop to the downside. We have got this one highlighted on the charts between 4.488 and 5.243. This retracement is the 50 to 88.2% retracement of this drop we did see to the downside. So of course we're going to look for VeChain to break higher than the upper end and ultimately break higher than 5.5 cents to confirm the bigger move to the upside. But what we can see going on, which is a very interesting move, is the lower lows and the lower highs that VeChain had been setting since the end of February. This tells us a breakout from here could get very exciting. Now we can see the end of March and the beginning of April was trying to break out of this upper end, ultimately finding rejection from here. Then it had a correction down to the mean band, the midline of that lower high, lower low situation. A retest of that mid area, a nice reset, but ultimately finding support on the 1 day equilibrium for the VeChain Binance chart. That's a good move. But what we do see now going on is the price pushing up higher than the 50 EMA, the 50 SMA, testing the highs that have most recently been set. Could this be that next bullish movement? But when we look at the oscillator for momentum, the stochastic RSI is peaking to the upside, currently sitting at 53.74%. So could this one continue? It is most likely a possibility. What we do see going on, we have found a bit of rejection most recently in this internal sell order block. This one coming back here from the 13th of March with a low of 4.783 and a high of 5.032. We of course will face resistance at this point. We want to see the price action push through this internal sell order block and target a higher movement. True confirmation of course of that break to the upside is at 5.5 cents, where we will be targeting a much higher price, where we could be looking at that breakout on the symmetrical triangle on the weekly time frame. But another interesting move that VeChain is making, especially on this daily time frame, is once again looking at the Gaussian channel. Now the Gaussian channel is a good indication of where the price action is moving, and what we can see on the daily time frame in particular is VeChain is coming to test a very interesting point. After finding support on the 50 EMA, this coincided with the mid-level of that daily Gaussian channel. Finding support at that point, we are coming up to test out the upper end of the Gaussian channel. We can see that is sitting at 4.801 cents. Simply put, a closure above 4.801 would be incredibly bullish, breaking out of the Gaussian channel. We can see the Gaussian channel is extremely green. This is good. The trend is to the upside if you're trading the Gaussian channel. When we look at the moves, we come down, we test out the mid-level of the Gaussian channel, we push to the upside. We've came back down, tested it, yes, we lost it. We had 4 days of poor candles here for VeChain, but that one's starting to turn over. I am looking for a closure above 4.801 to see where this next move to the upside for VeChain can take us. Adding up all of these different oscillators, indicators, adds fuel to the fire, aids your arsenal to really target out these movements. I do think VeChain is on a move to the upside. Momentum on the lower time frames, of course, they're looking for a pullback. We have seen almost 15% in gains today, so it's only natural to see these corrections. But when we start to see oscillators pointing to the upside, telling us momentum is to the upside, when we start to add in some indicators that have always worked very well, especially that Gaussian channel, it does appear that VeChain is on a momentous break to the upside. And of course, we also have to take a note of the cheeky cipher. What is that cheeky cipher telling us? Well, the cheeky cipher is aiding that move to the upside. We had confirmation today of a bullish movement on the daily time frame here for VeChain. We were flashed up with that green dot, that buy, that go long signal here from yesterday, from that Sunday candle. Today, with the open of VeChain trading, we of course had confirmation, the dot remaining, the buy signal still remaining, and we have seen a very fruitful movement. So guys, it's always crucial in my opinion to look at that cheeky cipher to give you confirmation of these moves. If you were watching that, you got your confirmation of this move to the upside, you would have sat in over 15% profits at one point on this move for VeChain. I do still think there is still plenty more to go. The daily chart does look good for VeChain. The initial target for myself, of course, will be pushing to the upper area of that retracement, 5.243. Then I would of course be targeting the 5.5 cent level. If we can break higher than there, then of course we are going to be aiming much higher for VET, and it does look likely we are going to see a big move once again for VeChain. I do believe we are starting to see that next leg up. Bitcoin also telling us we are looking for that next push to the upside. Let me know what you guys think of that in the comment section down below. Is VeChain going to continue this breakout? Are we breaking out of that lower lows, lower highs? Are we breaking out of a symmetrical triangle? Let me know what you think in the comment section, guys. It's always fantastic to hear your feedback. Now recently we did put out a groundbreaking video for Cardano's Era, an all new format for the Cheeky Crypto channels. That's something we're going to persist with coming forward, but this is a video you guys don't want to miss, a huge update for Era. That video is right here. I encourage you to head on over and check it out.